Welcome back, class. This video is going to discuss your entrance ticket questions and answers and give you some further insight on your assignment as you progress further today. So the first vocabulary word, the first question for your entrance ticket today is, what is a personal value? And the answer is, it's something that's important to us. And by the way, feel free to pause this video or rewind as much as you need as you write down these entrance ticket answers. But again, a personal value is something that's important to us. So these images down here, they represent some different personal values and should also help give you some ideas if you were to choose a personal value for your artwork. So below at the top left, you have this woman who's obviously laughing. So there you have laughter, and then kindness, athleticism, conservation, or basically conserving or taking care of our environment, or strength. And each one of these images uses specific details to help tell these values. So if you wanted to do one of these, I would use one of these as a reference. No, I'm not saying copy it directly, but these should help give you ideas for how to show these values in specific ways. And just to be clear, yesterday we discussed what narrative art is, and that your objective was to create artwork that tells a story. But a lot of people have trouble, or sometimes students have trouble thinking of a specific memory that they want to focus on. So if that's you and you'd rather show a personal value in your art, you may do that as well. So if you felt stuck yesterday and you'd rather do a personal value, you can choose that instead. Or if you decided on a story yesterday, but you decided, you know what, after watching this, now I want to do a personal value instead, it's not too late to change your mind. So again, you can either tell a specific memory, an event that happened in your life, or do a personal value. Both of those tell a story in their own way. They use different images and details to convey a specific message. So whichever one you choose is fine. So it's okay if you change your mind. But the next slide does go over a few more personal values, just to kind of touch on those. You can also, maybe you want something that's important to you. Maybe faith is important to you. Maybe you're very patriotic about the country you live in, or a country, your native country that you may have been born in. Your family, the family unit. And I love this image of the pandas because the hardest thing in art to draw is people, or the human figure in general. So if you are very close with your family and family values, that's your personal value, you can represent a family unit without drawing people, just like this artist did with these different pandas. So you don't have to draw people to convey your message or meaning. Of course, if you're telling a specific story or memory, you need to draw people, but for a personal value, you don't necessarily need to. So moving on to the next slide. This is our last slide. So your second question for your entrance ticket today is, what is an illustration? An illustration is a visual depiction of an idea. So down here at the bottom right, that big photo, you can see the artist drawing a bunch of different scenes. They're sequential, one thing happening after another, and they're just taking their ideas and just drawing it visually. Which leads us to the question, and this question is not on your entrance ticket, but it's something you should know and keep in the back of your mind as you're doing this project. The question is, how can illustrations depict different ideas? Now this ties specifically into your essential question for the entire unit, so this is really important that you're taking this in. So again, how can illustrations depict different ideas? Down at the left here, you can see an astronaut in outer space riding this big rocket through space, and at the bottom you can see four figures dancing. Not exactly where they are, but it looks like there's confetti. They're just having a good time at some kind of a party. But how do these different drawings, they both tell these different ideas. It's obvious, we know there are two different things. But then how do we break this down to its most fundamental concept? What is it that's happening that's telling these different ideas? And to answer that question, you are A, drawing a specific subject or person or thing. Then you're drawing them doing a specific action. So at the top we have the astronaut, and then his action is he's riding that rocket ship. You also have the environment, where are they? And also any other colors or details that you can add to help further make that story more clear. So the three main things are the subject, the action, and the environment. And again, also the color and the extra details tell that story. So make sure that when you are creating your story or your personal value as you create your artwork today, that you're focusing on those things. You're having specific subjects. You're also showing where they are and what they're doing, because you need that story to be clear. When I'm grading your final projects, I need to make sure that your story or your value is very clear. It would be a shame if someone was trying to show, tell the story of when they got their first pet, they got their dog when it was a puppy, and then I think that it showed a time where you lost your pet, or a time where your pet passed away. I mean, the complete opposite. Obviously, that'd be very sad, but you would just basically want to make sure that story is clear. If the story is not clear, that means you weren't very specific about the subject, the action, the place, and the other supporting details, along with the colors that may have basically added to that story. All right, so that should help you with your entrance ticket for today. So please make sure you write down both of your definitions after you leave this video, and submit those definitions to your entrance ticket assignment. And then after your entrance ticket assignment, please make sure that you work on your project for the remainder of class, and then you submit your progress. You should have about half of your final drawing done. And again, if you finish the entire drawing, that's fine. But make sure that you do submit your progress for today so you can get those points. All right, guys, look forward to seeing your work, and I will see you later. Bye, everyone.